To do this, what we need to do on each page is go into our design, make sure you're on a page. So I'll start on the index page here. And you're going to want to click responsive. And then what you're going to want to do is click upgrade responsive beta. And I'm just going to go ahead and uncheck creating a copy. Let's just go ahead and upgrade. And the reason it's doing this is it's saying you cannot undo this. So that's something to keep in mind. You know, if you have an app on Bubble already and you want to create a copy just in case, you can do that. But I'm going to go ahead and upgrade. If you're watching this tutorial a little bit in the future, Bubble might, have this responsive designer by default, so you might not need to upgrade. But right now you have to upgrade your pages. Okay, I'm going to exit out of this here, and I'm going to cancel here. So now we're in the responsive designer. It all looks the same because by default, it is all going to be the same. But I'm going to go over how the responsive designer works. So the responsive designer lets you use something called Flexbox, which in web design allows you to kind of position things vertically or horizontally, center them, put them left or right justified. It kind of lets you put things together on your page. And what's really helpful with that is as you make your page bigger or smaller, different elements will stack and become responsive. And before this new engine, it was a little difficult on Bubble to make this work, but the new engine makes it a lot easier. So I think you're going to get it as we go along. So the first thing I want to do is you want to go and double click on the index page, and now we have this layout tab, which did not exist before we upgraded to our responsive design. Our container layout, I want to make a column. And typically, I'm going to put the page layout as a column because items are going to be vertical on the page. But you're going to see by doing that, so I'll just go back to fixed, or actually, I don't know. It's going to, so if I go to row, it'll be like that. So as you see, I made it as a column, what we did is now these buttons are all vertical. So we're going to fix that, but for now, we're going to keep it as a column. And then what we're going to want to do is take advantage of this group container. And by using groups, we're going to be able to position things on our page the way that we want. So under group, I'm going to go ahead and pull a group here, drag it from the left to the right under the nav bar, and I'm going to pull it down. So now we have this group. I'm also just going to, under the appearance, I just want to give it a, remove its style and give it a flat color. Just give it a background color so you can see where it is as I'm working with it. And so I can see. So here we go. Okay, so it went all the way down here because everything is vertically aligned. So what we're going to do is we need to put items inside of that group that we just made. I'm going to call this a row container. And inside this row container, what I want to do is add another group. So I added a group inside, and I'm going to name this left row. And let's just duplicate it, and I'm going to, let's just add another one and paste that in there. And this I'm going to name right row. And I'm also just going to give this an appearance. I'm going to remove the style and give it a background color of white. And for left row, I'm going to give it a background color, remove the style, and give it a background color of just like a gray. And the reason I'm doing this is so that you can see as I change the Flexbox orientations of the designs, kind of how it looks on your end. Okay, so here under row container, what I want to do is go to our layout, and the container is going to be a row. So right off the bat, you can see it's a row, and now this is aligned horizontally. And then under the fixed container layout, um, what I want to do here actually, if I go to our responsive designer, if I go to our element tree, here we can see our row container, and inside we have our left row and our right row. So what I want is the posts top and new to be in the left row, and then the create subreddit, and then our elements that show the subreddits of the user to be on the right row. So to do that, I just want text top. I'm going to drag it into left row, text new, drag it into left row. We'll work on that, don't worry. Repeating group post, left row. And then right row, we're going to do button create new subreddit. And then we're going to say my subreddits. And then we're going to have the repeating group of subreddits and these are the subreddits of the individual user. Okay. And now under left row, what I want to do is for this container layout, I want to make it a column. And now you can see it's all vertically aligned. The element, I don't want it to be fixed width. The mid width at 398 is okay for now. Maybe I'll make it 500. See what happens when I do that. 500 is fine as min width, max width, infinite. And now for right row, I'm going to make it a column as well. I'm going to not make it fixed width. I'm going to make the min width 200 so you can see it's smaller there. Okay, great. So already you can see we have the red in the background. That's the row container, which is making these on the left and right. And then we have the left row and the right row. Let's go to our responsive designer here. And in the responsiveness, what we can do is drag the page and see what happens as we drag. So what we want to happen here is for the page to stack as it drags. So right now it's not, and we need to make that happen. Okay, so what we need to do is go to that left row. Let's go to the left row first. And under mid width 500, we also need a max width. So let's make the max width, let's just say 700 for now. Okay, and then under the right row, the mid width is 200. Let's say max width is 300. And now if we go to our responsive designer and we go to 992, let's start dragging the page smaller. No, it's still not flexing. Okay, so what we want to do is go ahead in that row container and we want to make the element not fixed width. We want to make the min width 320. Typically, min width 320, that'll make it so it works on mobile. Max width, let's say 1256 here for the row container. This left row, let's make the element fixed width. We want to uncheck that. Min width 320, max width 700. Right row, min width, let's just say 320, max width 350. Okay, and same thing, uncheck, make the element fixed width. So now what we can do is see what the page looks like as we make it bigger. And as we make it smaller, you can see it's going to drag over to the left. So we might want to actually change that a little bit. And then it's going to flip here and go down here. And now you can see the create new subreddit is below. So now what we want to do is let's go ahead in this repeating group. What we want to do is make this responsive as well. So when we go and start going over, we want this to move as well. Okay, so now let's also go ahead. So if we go and refresh, we can see we want this to be centered. So let's go back. Let's go to our page index and its column. Let's go to our row container, horizontal alignment. So if we make horizontal alignment centered, let's see how that works here. There we go. So now this is centered on the page. And I also want to go ahead and remove the colors here in the back that we did, and that was more so just so you could see what it looks like. So I'll go to left row, appearance, and I'm going to make the background style none. Right row, I'm going to do the same thing. And then row container, let's do the same thing. And page index, let's go ahead and give the style or the background style a flat color of white. So let's go back, refresh. Okay, so it's looking a little bit better here. So we've got it centered. We've got the new subreddit, my subreddits here, and the header. So let's go back, and what I want to do here under top and new, let's just add a quick little group here. So under UI Builder, let's add a group, and I'm just going to drag it right here, and it's going to be sort group. And then what I want to do is drag text top inside and text new inside that sort group here in the element tree. And then the sort group, what I want to do is make the layout a row, and now we have top and new as a row here. And then I want to make sure it's above that repeating group. So we have top, new, and then here we go with the repeating group. Okay, awesome. So now let's go into the repeating group. And what I want to do is style the cell of the repeating group. So to do this, we're going to need to add different groups inside the repeating group to organize things the way that we want them to be organized. So let's go ahead and click on group. And the first thing I want to do is create a group here on the right. This group is going to be upvote group. And let's go ahead and make the container layout. Let's say it is a column. And then in that upvote group, we want to drag in upvote, we want to drag in downvote, and then we want to drag in the current cells posts upvote, which I believe is this one. Drag it in and just put it in between. So we've got upvote, we've got downvote, and we've got the count here. And then on this column, what we want to do is actually under upvote, downvote, so we want to center it. So let's go to our upvote, and let's say horizontal alignment, centered. And then for the number of upvotes, we're going to center it. And for downvote, we're going to center it. And then we're going to make the box and then let's just go ahead and make this box a little bit smaller so it fits. And drag it down here. Okay, so then the container type, the repeating group post, we want this to be a row. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to go back. I want to make sure that we have another group that's holding in this side here. So let's go ahead and add a group. Let's drag it in. Let's add the group and name it post info. And then post info, let's go ahead and add in the, let's first add it above the upvote group, and let's pull in all of the information here. And then let's make the layout post info. We'll make it a column. Let's drag it over. Oops, post info. And drag it over if we can. Oops, go back. Make sure I'm getting the right thing here. Okay. And make sure that's inside. And then it looks like this has got a little messed up. So under parents, we want to say parent groups thing, and the type is the post, and change that. The post's title, parent group's post title, parent group's post creation, date, and the, take that in, parent group's post title, the link, let's put above it, and then the creation date. Okay, awesome. And the title, let's just go ahead and let's leave that there for now. And then the post info, I'm just going to go ahead and pull that up. Okay. So as you can see, it's a little bit tedious, but once you get it set up, it'll be much easier moving forward. So now under that repeating group post, the layout, let's go ahead and make that a row. And now you can see, let's make it be space between here. What that's doing, you can see, is there's even space between both of them. And then on horizontal alignment, I want it to be centered in the center of the page. Actually, I want it to be left. And then under the post info, I want vertical alignment centered, and upvote group, I want vertical alignment centered. So now it's in the center of the page. Okay, great. And then I think I actually want the repeating group post to be aligned left. No, actually not aligned left. I want it to be this alignment space between. So it's going to be all the way on the left and all the way on the right. That's exactly what I want. Okay, awesome. So as you can see here in the element tree, now it's a clean left, we have the row container for the whole page, the left row, which holds this section, the right, and then within the left row, we have our sort group on the top. We have a repeating group where we have our post info, our upvote group. So it's a little bit complicated. As you can see, everything is basically boxes that we are putting inside other boxes. And then on the right, we have our button here and then our info here. So let's go ahead and go to our page, home page, and refresh. And it's loading, and I think something actually may have gotten a little bit messed up here with our parent group post title. So this is inside this post info, but it looks like it got a little bit messed up. So the post, we have a data source here that we need to pull in. So we have this data source here, which is a search for posts, and then here it's a post, and we need it to say current sales post. And now let's see if this solves it here. Let's go back and refresh. There we go. Okay, awesome. So now we have all our posts, and you can see it's aligned. Everything is aligned pretty well. Everything's working with our top and new. And we have our new subreddit post here. So it's starting to look a little bit better on the design side. Let's go ahead and go back to our editor. And one thing I want to do is make sure that we have a link to get us into the post. So here we have our post info. And what I want to do is for post info, first of all, on the layout of it, I don't want to make it fixed width. I want minimum 448, max infinite. And then under the workflow, I want to say when the post info is clicked, let's navigate to a page. The destination is going to be a post page, and we're going to send the current sales posts post. There we go. So let's go ahead and refresh. So now if I go ahead and click on the post group, it'll take us to the post. And now it's all working. Cool. So a couple settings we want to set here for the designer. So first we have this link. You might have seen this. Just want to delete that if you haven't already to get rid of it. Then on that row container, let's go ahead in the layout and let's add some top margin of maybe 30. Just add a little space there. And then what I want to do is on the left row, let's just add some margin on the left and right. Let's just add 10 on the left, 10 on the right. And same on that repeating, same on the right row. Let's just add 10 on the left, 10 on the right. Margin is just space between, basically. And then what I want to do is on that row container, just make sure that you say you uncheck make the element fixed width. Let's make the min width 320, max width 1000 is fine. Actually, let's 1200 is fine here for max width. Maybe 10. Let's just do 1000 for now. And then under left row, what we want to do is make the min width. We're going to make the element not fixed width. Make sure the min width is, let's do 600, maybe 550. Because this is going to affect when it kind of splits. So min width 550, max width, let's say 700. The right row, the min width, let's say 320. And max width, let's just make this 320. So fixed width 320. And now as we drag, you'll see as we hit this point here, it's going to flip down to the bottom there. Okay, cool. And here on that right row, and the row container, let's actually make that right row fixed width, let's say mid width 320, no max width. That way when it goes down to the bottom, it'll be the full width of the page. Okay. That is good enough for now. And let's go ahead and stop there. All right, so one other thing I noticed is that because we created this post info group, which is going to link to the post, we're hiding the link here that we made to the subreddit. So to fix that, what I want to do is, let's go to the workflow here. And I actually want to delete that when post info is clicked workflow. And let's just put let's put another group inside. So what we're going to do is go to the repeating group, just a regular group. Let's just drag that inside. And let's see where that landed here. So this is going to be the link to post. And we can see where it is here on the post info link to post. We'll just drag that up to the top. Under layout, we're going to make it a column. And it is not going to be fixed width, it is going to be infinite. And let's make the min width 320. And then what we're going to do is drag in the title and the date and drag that below. So now we have a different link for the link to the subreddit and then a link to the post. And now under that link to the post, we need to select the content as being a post, and it's going to be the parent group's post here, just to make sure that is set up. And then one other thing you may not have done in the last video is just under that repeating group post, we need to make the layout the min width 320 and the max width infinite for make the element fixed width. The reason for that is to make sure that it doesn't get overlapped with this button as the screen gets smaller. So let's just go back and refresh to our home page and see if that worked. So we can click, we have to actually add that link. So the link to post, now we add the workflow here, create an action, we're going to navigate to a page, the post page, which is going to be the parent group's post. And we'll exit out. We'll go back and we'll refresh. And cool, so here I can click and go to the parent group's post. But then I also can go and click our movies and go to the movie subreddit. Okay, awesome. All right, so let's style some other parts of the site now.